Inside you lies a quiet brilliance, a light so bright it could set your world ablaze. Carl Jung saw the fear that lives beside that light, the hush that says you are not ready, not worthy, not enough. Tonight we sit in that space, letting the tremble of possibility settle in our bones. Because potential is not only a gift, but a burden, a call to step beyond what you've known. And sometimes the part of you that longs for greatness is the same part that fears the cost. But in that soft seeing, something true awaits. We embark now into the delicate whispers of potential residing within you, like a melody waiting for dawn's light to touch its notes. Imagine this glimpse of greatness as a constellational spark at the soul's core, a vision unfolding gently, poised on the edge of your current self. Feel its call. It's enchanting and weighty, thrilling in its promise, yet daunting in its expanse. Stand at this juncture, where the familiar pathways crumble into new, wide horizons. Deep within lies a whisper, an echo of what you innately are, waiting silently beneath your waking consciousness. It might appear during a chance meeting with someone who glimpses your light or surface in quiet solitude, a vision born from sleepless musings under the canopy of night. This is not a command towards action, it is an acknowledgement of the inherent brilliance residing within, the kind of insight that challenges every self-imposed limit. Looking inward to see this potential is exhilarating and overwhelming, much like standing before an endless ocean. Its vastness is dotted with waves of possibility stretching beyond sight, sparking both fear and wonder. Here foundational beliefs shiver, questioning the boundaries of your self-defined captivity and urging forward into a renewed understanding of self. This duality, the desire to soar and the fear of falling, creates a dynamic tension in being. Hold this duality as a natural part of your psyche, where for every aspiration, resistance forms a counterweight. This notion, championed by Carl Jung, reflects how light defines shadow. One cannot exist without the awareness of the other. As you face these opposing forces, embrace the discomfort of potential disruption, realizing this challenge is the precursor to profound evolution. Stand now on the threshold where potential meets reality, understanding the mental scripts and emotional barriers that whisper caution. This is a space for confronting hesitation, a sacred boundary where comfort brushes against adventure, prompting the birth of true courage. Exist in this dialogue where self and potential converse in timeless unity. Beyond this edge lies an ocean of uncertainty, where predictability dissolves into boundless possibility. Releasing your hold on the familiar shoreline, you must allow yourself to drift into this enigmatic embrace. Here the journey's true freedom resides, both turbulence and tranquility, forging resilience. Understand this not as romantic, but essential, a crucible where illusions of control crumble, and the acceptance of chaos births creativity and adaptability. Immerse yourself in this inner dialogue, a sacred conversation between present self and emerging greatness, a reflective dance exploring doubts, curiosities, and unfolding possibilities. This dialogue channels Jung's individuation, integrating ego and self, light and shadow. It reveals the hopes, fears, and emotions intertwined with your potential, urging a deeper self-awareness, marking guideposts for further exploration along the path of growth. Fear and excitement accompany you as dual companions, urging balance within. Fear, echoing primal survival instincts, seeks safety in known paths. Meanwhile, excitement pulses with the thrill of potential metamorphosis, urging onward into the unknown. Together they must harmonise, blending caution with intrepid exploration, the key to unlocking self-actualization. On this journey, suffering too becomes a companion, an intense crucible refining personal authenticity. In Darkness, Kierkegaard reminds us of paradoxical wisdom, where suffering as an intense spotlight clarifies resilience and pushes boundaries, allowing transformation from adversity into profound potential. Viktor Frankl's faith in meaning seeded amidst despair, echoes gripping us with its promise of purpose. Upon glimpsing your potential, you receive an invitation to wholeness, a chance to weave together disparate aspects of self into a cohesive tapestry. Embrace shadows hidden from sight, and allow aspirations to guide intentions, each thread in this web contributing to the fabric of a unified being. Pursue not external success but an internal resonance, formed in the embrace of contradictions that shape truth. As you reframe personal narratives, exploring beliefs that sculpt your identity, allow the emergence of authentic self-perceptions. Adopt Carl Jung's approach of truth as liberator. Relinquish false limitations, cultivating space for new narratives to seed in the fertile ground of intentional growth. Engage deeply in cycles of introspection, allowing outdated stories to die quietly as new tales of empowerment rise. In closing, reflect on transformation, the ongoing dance of realization, evolution stretching beyond shadows into boundless brilliance. Let Nietzsche's exhortation to become who you are inspire this transformative journey, encompassing greatness unbound by limitation. This commitment is not about attaining static goals, but embracing the perpetual motion of potential, overcoming limitations with an authenticity and courage that allow plunging into the endless ocean of potential. Go forth with an open heart and deepened soul as you step onto this reverent path scattered with infinite possibilities, alive and awaiting. In the quiet recesses of our being lies the shadow, an enigmatic companion of the psyche brought to light by Carl Jung. This shadow holds all that we have turned away from, the unspoken parts of ourselves that linger in the dim corridors of consciousness. As we embark on the journey toward our fullest potential, this shadow stirs, echoing the light we usher into our lives with an equal measure of darkness. It is not an abstract theory to be banished, but a mirror reflecting our innermost fears, desires, and vulnerabilities. The jealousy that creeps in with a framed success, the anger that rises unbidden from perceived wrongs, the fear that whispers we are not enough. These are the shadows beckoning for recognition. Suppression begets resistance, and resistance transforms these shadows into daunting spectres that lurk at the edges of our dreams. To bypass the shadows to deny the totality of life's experience. Ignoring these fragments diminishes the rich tapestry of human existence. By embracing the shadow, we set out on the path of individuation, where disparate pieces of the soul meld into a harmonious whole. This acknowledgement begins the transformative journey, revealing not only fear, but hidden healing. As we explore the interplay between burgeoning potential and shadow, we unearth deep-seated emotions previously shunned, venturing not into fear, but into the promise of growth. Potential and shadow coexist as two sides of a coin, one illuminating the other. Imagine a lighthouse standing firm against the turbulent sea. Its radiant glow casts deep, dark shadows upon the rocky shore. These shadows symbolize the parts of ourselves cloaked in obscurity, insecurities hidden from sight but ever present. As our potential blazes brighter, so too do these shadows lengthen, inviting introspection. This duality beckons us not toward retreat but engagement, an opportunity to navigate the nuanced depths of our emotions with keen awareness. Rather than turning away from these shadows, we should engage with them as guides, uncovering lessons buried within. Among the most fearsome shadows guarding this threshold of potential is fear itself. Like a watchful guardian, fear seeks to protect, yet often confines us to the comforts of what is known. It warns of dangers on the horizon of change and growth. But what do we truly fear when poised on the brink of greatness? More than anything, it is the unknown, the unravelling of the familiar, the shedding of mediocrity's embrace. We fear judgment, failure, and the shattering of expectations, both internal and external. In acknowledging fear, we find our bearings, asking if we are ready to embrace the change ahead. And in doing so, fear becomes a companion, not a captor. Envy, the green-eyed shadow, emerges as we draw near to our dreams. It is a mirror reflecting unfulfilled desires we perceive in others. This emotion is potent, capable of both inspiration and despair. In the pursuit of potential, envy may ignite when we see those who tread a similar path with ease. Their success can amplify our own unspoken yearnings, leading to comparison's trap. To confront envy is to look beyond surface emotions and listen for the echoes of true desire within. By embracing envy, we can harness its energy, transforming it into a beacon that guides us toward our unique destiny. Anger, a fire burning unseen, serves as both illumination and destruction. Its flickering light reveals where unmet needs and violated boundaries lie. On the journey to potential, anger may flare as a response to resistance or frustration. Instead of extinguishing this flame, we must see it as a signal, not a brute force, but an untapped resource yearning for change. By embracing anger, we access profound insights, reshaping it into a transformative force. Shame stands as a mighty barrier against potential, whispering unworthiness into the crevices of our being. This deeply ingrained emotion arises from past wounds and societal expectations, casting shadows over our aspirations. As we strive toward greatness, shame warns of imposture and unearned success. Yet, in shining a light on shame, we strip away its power, urging healing and reconciliation. Through understanding shame's roots, we soften its hold, inviting self-acceptance and quiet liberation. Repression, a hidden current beneath life's surface, steers us subtly from our true path. Suppressed thoughts and desires form shadows cast upon others. Yet, unveiling repression through introspection grants the chance for realignment, transforming these hidden elements into energy accessible for our growth. Jung likened this to lifting the veil off the self, revealing its depths, and reclaiming authenticity empowers the journey towards wholeness. Integrating the shadow is an art of self-exploration. Jung advocated this seamless union as a gateway to individuation, calling for a welcoming of even the most unsettling pieces of oneself. With patience and reflection, these darker elements become sources of creativity and wisdom, lightening the way forward. Like an intricate dance, this process blurs the lines of light and dark in our being, cultivating profound self-awareness and self-compassion. It is here that authenticity blossoms and potential unfurls its wings. Embracing one's shadow is not an embrace of darkness, but a quest for balance, where potential thrives in harmony with light and shadow. In balance, light does not disconnect from the lessons shadows teach, nor do shadows confine potential. Existing in equilibrium means accepting moments of doubt alongside gratitude for our triumphs. In this dance of duality is found wisdom, the key to self-understanding and change. Through presence and balance, the path to greatness unveils, each step gently illuminating the way. Take a slow, gentle breath and imagine a moment in time when the path before you unfolds like a secret, revealed in the quiet of a dream. Here, in the hushed embrace of night, we stand at the threshold of our own potential, a place both exhilarating and haunting. There is a call, a whisper of authenticity that teases our senses, urging us toward a life that feels undeniably ours. But to step onto this path is to cast aside the soft blankets of conformity and the comfortable illusions we've worn like old coats. This awakening, this realization that the tapestry of our life is of our own weaving, both terrifies and liberates. This journey demands courage, a willingness to stand starkly in the light of one's truth, to leave behind the masks and roles that no longer serve, even when doing so risks misunderstanding from those we hold dear. The fear that we may not be embraced as our true selves lingers like a shadow at dusk. Yet, in letting go, we discover a profound connection, an invitation to craft relationships that are steeped in genuine understanding and respect. Responsibility, once a heavy chain, begins to lighten, revealing itself as a privilege that unites us with the world in ways both intimate and profound. Through practices of mindfulness, journaling, and quiet reflection, we begin to cultivate the resilience necessary to bear this weight with grace. As the veil of certainty lifts, we find ourselves face to face with a shattering of illusions that once seemed as comforting as a lullaby. The myths we have spun about success, happiness, worth, they dissolve, leaving the raw truth of our potential exposed. In this unmasking, fears emerge, pulled from the depths like rare pearls, ready to be examined and understood. Here lies the courage to embrace our fears, to see them not as terrors lurking at the outskirts of our consciousness, but as teachers, guiding us toward deeper wisdom. In the realm of potential, choice is its weighty companion. Each day becomes a delicate dance of decisions where each step, no matter how small, echoes forward into the shape of our future. There is no pre-written guide, no guaranteed map of success. This path is a wild terrain, marked by possibility and shadowed by the unknown. Trust in oneself becomes both anchor and compass, a guiding light through the dimness of uncertainty. It is a labour of love, this crafting of life, challenging us to balance between the comforts of the known and the allure of what might be. Commitment, then, is the heart of courage, a quiet vow whispered to oneself in the stillness of night. It is the resolve to pursue growth, even when tangled in the brambles of doubt and worry. We release our reliance on safety nets that cradle us in mediocrity, daring instead to embrace the discomfort of transformation. This commitment is nurtured not through grand gestures, but in the rituals of daily persistence, a steady flame illuminating our path through the fog of uncertainty. Responsibility walks hand in hand with the liberation of accountability. It is here, standing in the light of our truths, where we find the seed of authentic freedom taking root. Accountability is not a chain, but a key, unlocking doors to new possibilities we once thought unreachable. By owning our narratives, we invite the power to write them anew, casting aside the stories that no longer serve us, and embracing the chance to sculpt our lives in shapes of our own choosing. Perfection, an elusive sprite, dances out of reach, and in its place, the reality of imperfection nests comfortably within us. We come to see that it is not flawlessness that defines us, but rather our openness to growth and learning. Our imperfections become the threads of our resilience, weaving a tapestry of strength and vulnerability. Failure too is part of this sacred dance. It is the forge in which our character is honed, where each shortfall becomes a lesson, a stepping stone leading us closer to our true potential. In accepting failure with grace rather than condemnation, we find the courage to rise again, to continue this journey with renewed focus and clarity. Integrity is the compass that aligns us, the star by which we steer through storms both within and without. It calls us to live in harmony with our values, to let our actions echo our deepest truths. By walking with integrity, we craft a legacy not only for ourselves but for countless others who draw strength from our path. In this gentle surrender to process, we find peace not in arriving but in becoming. The path unfurls beneath our feet, a winding road of discovery that honours the complexity of our journey. This surrender does not whisper of passivity but of active engagement, a celebration of each moment as integral to our unfolding story. Ultimately, this journey leads us to wholeness, a harmonious embrace of every shadow and light within. Wholeness invites us to acknowledge the full spectrum of our experience, crafting a life enriched by authenticity and balance. By merging our diverse facets, we transcend the narratives that seek to divide us, stepping instead into a vibrant expression of who we truly are here. In this sacred space, potential is not a summit to reach, but an endless horizon, inviting us ever onward. In the twilight of self-awareness, the ego stands guard, building fortresses of familiarity in the mind's dwelling. Here, within the warmth of repeated patterns and known paths, it seeks refuge from the bewildering expanse of the unknown. The comfort of this cocoon, though offering a veneer of stability, often becomes a gilded cage, stunting genuine evolution. Yet, within this sanctuary of sameness, an undercurrent of unease whispers, bound by the chains of stagnation. The walls of this fortress, rather than safeguarding us, quietly confine our boundless potential. Beyond these walls, the illusion of control takes its throne. Life is seen as a malleable sequence, a puppet to our will, yet this notion shatters like brittle glass when faced with the boundless possibilities of our inner cosmos. The ego clings desperately to this illusion, narrating tales that bind us within its grasp. But in seeking true growth, we are called to release this control, allowing creativity to unfurl its wings in the winds of uncertainty. Like a painter tossing aside the brush, we must let chance splash colours across the canvas of our destiny. Change, the breath of transformation, is a paradox the ego cannot fathom, for it unravels the threadbare tapestry of predictability it weaves. Though new horizons beckon with promise, the ego sees only the shadows that blur its path. This resistance unveils its deepest fear, a confrontation with the unknown waters of becoming. Yet within this struggle lies the seed of liberation. In acknowledging change as life's eternal dance, we open ourselves to the potential lying dormant within, waiting to awaken. The ego, in its elaborate dance of self-preservation, enacts the subtle art of self-sabotage. It dresses doubt in the garb of reason, cloaks procrastination in threads of prudence, and binds us in the web of perfectionism. These are the delaying tactics of an ego petrified by change. But with mindful recognition, this illusion shatters, and the path to transformation opens. We venture courageously into shadowed alleys, dissolving fear with light, and uncover the buried keys to authenticity. In the quiet corridors of the heart, a dance unfolds between the twin stars of fear and desire. Fear whispers tales of caution, while desire sings the song of endless possibility. Together, these forces create a tension, a delicate balance where growth takes root. Here, both fear and desire become allies, having the power to shape our journey. With understanding, we harmonize their energies, allowing one to guide and the other to protect, each a necessary part of our psychological symphony. The inner critic, ever present, echoes the ego's desperate serenade. It sings of inadequacy, casting shadows upon the light of potential. Yet, through the lens of awareness, we see its voice not as a tyrant but a teacher, guiding us tenderly beyond the familiar. By listening to these whispers without surrendering to them, we carve a path to compassion, transforming the harsh judge into a gentle guide that encourages our first tentative steps into a broader world. To embrace our fullest potential, letting go becomes paramount. The ego clings to its narratives, spinning a web of safety within the familiar. Yet, in the willingness to release these narratives, we find freedom. Like the snake shedding its skin, we let go of layers that stifle growth. In this surrender, we make room for new forms to rise from the ashes of the old, allowing the past to dissolve and let the future flow freely through us. Vulnerability is the secret passageway that leads to transformation. It urges us to discard the armour the ego crafted, to stand naked before the winds of unpredictability. In this raw exposure, resilience is born. We find beauty in our imperfections, accepting them as parts of our tale etched in the sands of time. Here, vulnerability becomes not a burden, but the sacred opening through which growth seeps in, teaching us to weave courage from the threads of fear. Courage then becomes the sail on our ship, unfurling under the winds of uncertainty. It propels us forward when the ego seeks solace in still waters, reassuring us that action is not an enemy, but a friend. With courage, the inertia of fear gives way to the momentum of becoming. This pulse beats within every decision, urging us to embrace the unknown with open arms, to step boldly upon the path our soul charts in the star-dusted sky. At last, we arrive at acceptance, the sanctuary where the ego's chains dissolve into mist. Through acceptance, we embrace the symphony of experience, from the gentle lilt of joy to the deep hum of sorrow. Here we find liberation, a peace that surpasses understanding, as we acknowledge that our journey, with all its twists and turns, is the sacred dance of unfolding. Acceptance birthed the fertile ground where our humble seeds of potential grow untethered, reaching toward the infinity beyond the ego's final hold. In the quiet moments of introspection, there lies an insistent whisper, a beckoning from beyond the veil of the everyday, urging one to venture past the borders of familiarity into the realm of potential. It is a call as ancient as the stars themselves, hinting at transformation yet shrouded in the mystery of uncharted territories. The known world, a tapestry woven with shared beliefs and societal norms, is safe, yet the soul longs for the wild tapestry that pulses with both promise and peril. The journey to self-realization thus begins beneath a canopy of stars, where the familiar loosens its grip and the vast landscape of potential stretches out, both thrilling and unusually barren. The familiar, a comfortable cloak of shared experiences and expected roles, soon starts to chafe against the skin of growth. Friends, family, and the circles that once shaped your identity may no longer recognize the path you tread, Though disquieting, this divergence offers a profound opportunity to align not with the cradling arms of external approval, but with the steadfast drum of your inner truth. To step out from the embrace of conformity is to dance on the edge of solitude, to risk misunderstanding and aloneness for the sake of authenticity. A journey that echoes the tales of prophets and adventurers who shun the path well trodden. On this solitary path, one encounters solitude's wilderness, an expansive, introspective landscape where silence speaks with the weight of wisdom. It's a realm that invites you into shadowed corners of the self, where every echo is a note in the symphony of self-discovery. Here, solitude transforms from loneliness into a canvas where the inner world unveils itself in vibrant hues, painting a picture of raw, unpolished truth. This quiet encounters birth dialogues within, where questions long silenced begin to rise and take form, crafting a new narrative of wholeness, distilled from the silence of an uncharted existence. Facing the shadow of isolation stirs ancient fears nestled deep within the psyche, fears born from an age when belonging equaled survival. The modern mind, still echoing with these primal warnings, misreads this retreat as perilous. Yet, in choosing the path of seclusion, rich insights bubble forth, inaccessible within the confines of collective assurances. Each step away from societal embrace invites you to confront fears of inadequacy, to peel back the layers cloaking your spirit, offering a veil-free view of your authentic desires and intentions. Standing firm in solitude demands the courage to embrace authenticity, even against the relentless tide of normativity. It is a path marked by the tension of inner truth versus the mirrored views of society. Authenticity requires dismantling narratives spun from the threads of external validation. It's a brave venture, inviting you to carve existence anew, resisting the allure of preordained paths. This journey fortifies the ties of self-trust, laying the groundwork for a life that resonates with the vibrations of your essence, drawing to you the people and opportunities that match your newfound frequency. In this sacred solitude, an alchemical process begins, where the base materials of everyday life transmute into golden threads of deep transformation. The very act of facing solitude confers the opportunity to refine the soul's essence amid silence and reflection. Growth in this crucible isn't rushed. It unfolds slowly, methodically, nurturing insights that transform perceived obstacles into lessons weathered for greater clarity and fortitude. Solitude catalyzes this metamorphosis, allowing the false scaffolding of conformity to fall away, revealing the brilliance of a self forged in authenticity's fire. Vulnerability emerges as the paradoxical strength within this journey. The raw exposure that solitude brings does not diminish but instead expands you. It crumbles the protective walls moulded by expectation and leaves your bare truth shining through. Embracing this vulnerability, once feared, unveils a resilience born from honest introspection, grounding you more deeply in the authenticity that solitude invites. It is in these moments of openness that you find bridges leading beyond isolated fortresses, opening richer, shared experiences waiting on the horizon. Ultimately, the path of standing alone circles back to the collective, a community rediscovered through the lens of authentic wholeness. This resurrection of connection from a place of individual integration breathes new life into relationships, now shaped by shared understanding and mutual celebration. As you step back toward the communal fire, it is not to surrender your hard-won individuality, but to blend it seamlessly with communal threads, forming a web of support and shared wisdom. Thus, the tapestry becomes richer, each stitch a testament to the solitary journey that taught you to stand alone, yet never apart. In the stillness of night, growth feels like a tender breaking, a soft parting of old veils that once shielded you from untapped expanses of possibility. To grow is to change, to stretch beyond the familiar confines of your current existence. But with each step toward realizing potential, the landscape shifts, leaving behind the once vital connections and encounters that framed earlier days. It is not an act of rejection, but a hushed invitation to something greater, an uncharted voyage, calling you into the unknown valleys of your own becoming. Yet with light that cracks wide open the heart, change is met with resistance, clinging desperately to the comfort of what is known. Just as the hawk climbs toward the sun, you must navigate the whispers within that plead for you to stay earthbound, tied to the comfort of familiar branches and roots. Oftentimes, as we rise, the ties of loyalty and constancy speak loudly of betrayal. A palpable loss echoes within as you turn toward new horizons, leaving behind a tapestry woven with shared moments and past selves. A moral weight seems to anchor us, a profound sense of guilt that blurs the path, a feeling of forsaking memories, companions and echoes of your former self. Yet, like the sea that receives each wave, growth demands courage, a compassionate understanding of the natural ebb and flow such journeys require. In this sacred procession of letting go, dual emotions entwine, a dance between the thrill of what lies ahead and the poignant sorrow for what cannot join you further. As past relationships fade, guilt surfaces, whispering tales of abandonment, casting shadows of betrayal upon the heart's longing for forward motion. You stand at the threshold, sensing the longing to honour the shared laughter, the comforting embraces, and the silent understandings that once were. Letting go becomes a sacred rite, a shedding of skin that carries with it the weight of years. Guilt, born from love and memory, often reflects an internal echo rather than present reality, a song of past sentiments yearning for acknowledgement. To harmonise the melody of past and future, find peace in gratitude and grace. Recognise the necessity of this shedding and allow your guilt to transmute into a gratitude for what was, honouring the contributions that paved this path of transition. As you step beyond previous boundaries, others may harbour feelings, like seeds of envy carried on the spring wind. Your growth, a testament to time's embrace, might highlight within them an unspoken standstill, a mirror reflecting dreams yet unfulfilled. Relationships can strain under the weight of these unvoiced emotions, causing a distance that lingers, leaving tensions threaded through shared spaces. The call of empathy becomes a gentle but firm reminder that your journey does not diminish the worth of theirs. It is not for the comfort of others that you must temper the brightness of your ascent. Here lies an opportunity, a bridge woven from understanding and dialogue, embracing the shared growth where horizons meet rather than diverge. Yet in this odyssey, fear of judgment and isolation lingers at the edge of awareness, a shadow trailing your newfound light. As familiar norms dissolve, your steps might echo judgment from those rooted in the sameness of stillness. Your journey can thus be perceived as a challenge to their chosen paths, stirring defences and ushering in silence where once laughter reigned. Loneliness walks beside this path, a harsh companion in the sanctuary of progress. It is within this solitude that the echoes of old voices linger, doubts whispering with unwanted intimacy. Here, you must cultivate an internal dialogue that champions authenticity, trusting your path as not superiority, but genuine embrace. Surround your shifting self with those who celebrate, allowing the light of your bold steps to stand unfazed by skepticism's dark tendrils. And so, as you navigate the vast terrain of growth, the soft light of mourning for past selves casts gentle hues upon the journey. Transforming requires saying farewell, not only to what was shared with others, but to the inner echoes of who you once were. It is a side-by-side voyage with nostalgia, a bittersweet companion that beckons while propelling you into the arms of an unfolding reality. As growth reshapes the world within and without, re-evaluation of relationships becomes a dialogue, an introspection into roles and boundaries that align with the essence of who you are becoming. It is a path paved with honesty, where courage prompts the gaze to distinguish connections that nourish from those that hold you tethered to yesteryears. And in this emergence, a gentle compassion blooms, a petal-filled bridge across the divide, softening guilt's hard edges. Compassion, like an elder's reassuring hand, begins with oneself, extending outward. It is the acceptance that everyone walks their sacred roads, and divergence is not disconnection, but an expansive pattern of evolving life's dance. New connections arise as the sun dips below the horizon, a testament to the infinite loop of ending and beginning. Embrace the tapestry of fresh bonds with an open heart, letting guilt dissolve into gratitude for what was and joyful acceptance of what will be. Authenticity, like rich soil, becomes the foundation where genuine relationships deepen and flourish, once tangled roots unravelling to reveal a rich, fertile garden. In releasing guilt, accept growth as the natural whisper of the soul's longing for truth. Know that guilt, like fallen leaves, must be left behind to let new shoots rise unobstructed toward the light. Embrace the boundless flow of this journey, where through example, you inspire others to silently unfold their wings alongside yours, and the realm of collective awakening comes alive in a harmony only explored when one steps into the vastness of their true becoming. In the silent chambers of your inner world lies a hidden vault where forgotten memories and concealed desires rest. Carl Jung called this mysterious realm the shadow, which harbours the disowned and unacknowledged parts of our personality. To awaken to this shadow is to embark on a sacred journey, a journey of embracing what we have long disowned and accepting the full expanse of our being. This is a delicate introspection, one that gently peels away the layers of societal conditioning and self-imposed narratives. With each layer that falls away, the path becomes clearer, like a mist dissolving in the morning light. The entrance into this profound space can be daunting, casting shadows of anxiety and resistance. Yet within this discomfort lies the pathway to transformation, a bridge connecting the darkness we've suppressed with the brilliance of potential waiting to be unleashed. As we venture into these shadowy depths, we discover a rich reservoir of creative and intuitive energy, a source that nourishes our evolution. It takes a kind of courage that is tender yet firm, guiding us towards an understanding of our true nature, where light and darkness dance in harmony. Our ego, the vigilant guardian of our self-image, often recoils at the thought of welcoming the shadow. It views the shadow's wisdom as a threat to its order, prompting a delicate dance of resistance. However, this resistance is not an obstacle, but rather an invitation to a more profound dialogue between our conscious selves and the wisdom of the shadow. To bring them into harmony, we must nurture awareness and humility, fostering an identity rooted in acceptance rather than denial. This is not a struggle between foes, but a partnership that guides us towards a more complete and authentic expression of self. Reflecting upon this dynamic dance, we find ourselves standing before a dark mirror, capable of reflecting the parts we dare not face, our fears, insecurities, and unhealed wounds. This mirror does more than reflect. It reveals the root of our actions, the subconscious currents shaping our lives. Gazing into this mirror requires vulnerability, a willingness to confront and embrace the shadows we've long evaded. Though unsettling, these reflections offer clarity and insight, allowing us to rewrite the narrative with intention and awareness. Once we accept the shadow's dark mirror, we unlock a doorway to liberation, breaking free from the chains of denial and projection. This act of reflective acceptance invites us to cultivate compassion for ourselves and others, casting the shadow not as an enemy, but as a wise guide on our journey. It unveils the potential hidden in these shadowy depths, where once overlooked talents and creative energies resonate, urging us to weave them into our conscious identity. As we gather each forgotten piece, we enrich our personal tapestry, transforming shadows into a wellspring of empowerment and creativity. The sacred practice of shadow work demands our dedication. It is not a fleeting endeavour, but a lifelong commitment to exploring and integrating the hidden aspects of ourselves. By engaging in this practice, we unravel the barriers to authenticity, revealing the light within the darkness. Through facing these shadows, we dissolve the weight of fear and shame, reclaiming our narrative with renewed clarity and purpose. This journey, though challenging, invites us to step into our fullest potential, rooted in the truth of our humanity. At the heart of the shadow, the monsters we fear are merely fragments of ourselves, fears and insecurities we've tucked away for protection. Confronting these is a courageous act of inquiry, not aggression. With open hearts, we explore their origins, transforming them alongside the wounds they conceal. This transformation is grounded in a compassionate embrace rather than a struggle for dominance. By redefining our relationship with these inner demons, we dismantle the shame and guard against self-doubt, cultivating a profound empathy and resilience within. Ultimately, our journey requires integrating both light and shadow, crafting a dance that embraces the complex beauty of our existence. This integration is not about eliminating darkness, but acknowledging it as a vital part of who we are. The duality within teaches us to appreciate the nuances of our journey, opening a doorway to a narrative that is both holistic and authentic. As we weave this seamless tapestry of light and dark, we cultivate inner harmony, transcending old conflicts and embracing a life of creativity and empowerment. The alchemical process of transformation lies in embracing this shadow, where fear becomes courage and limitation yields to potential. This sacred alchemy invites us to shed the layers of preconceived identity, revealing the essence of who we truly are. In this transformative journey, we are both the artisan and the art, rerouting our lives towards a reality that reflects our highest truth and potential. By stepping into this realm of endless possibilities, we explore new landscapes within ourselves, finding courage in the mystery and beauty of becoming. In the dance of creation, power is the force that molds the clay of our lives, imbuing it with the shape of our dreams and desires. Yet, as we step into this power, there is an unveiling, a gentle yet profound exposure of our vulnerabilities. With every stride we take towards potential, we open ourselves to the mosaic of human experiences: astonishment, apprehension, criticism, and envy. This paradox is stitched into the fabric of existence, a tapestry woven from threads of strength and tenderness. To hold power is to embrace this tender unveiling, to allow the world a glimpse into the sacred depths of our imperfection and valour. In the shimmering reflections cast by our ascent, we encounter a profound truth. Power, though often imagined as a fortress, is in essence a mirror, a realm where our shadows and light dance in tandem. As our presence grows more resplendent, what it illuminates are not just triumphs, but also the rugged contours of fears and insecurities. Vulnerability becomes a tender ally, revealing the fullness of our humanity. For in the glow of true power, it is not the concealment of frailties that fortifies us, but their embrace. Through this revelation, we grow, not by shunning our darker waters, but by allowing them to infuse our journey with depth and sincerity. The world often whispers the fallacy of invincibility, misinterpreting power as a shield against the tides of vulnerability. This alluring illusion suggests that strength requires the shrouding of weakness, the donning of an unblemished facade. Yet these facades crumble under the weight of authenticity. True strength arises from the courage to honour our vulnerabilities as portals into deeper kinships and understanding. It is through the refrain of acceptance, knowing that our imperfections are bridges rather than burdens, that power shifts from the superficial to the profound, transforming vulnerability into a wellspring of grace and compassion. As the path unfolds, criticism becomes a steady companion, urging us to introspect and refine. Stepping into our power, we inevitably draw the gaze of others, inviting critique and reaction. Yet rather than a rebuke, criticism can be an instructor, illuminating the paths less travelled within ourselves. Here, vulnerability becomes a terrain of metamorphosis, each critique a chance to fortify resilience and commitment to our higher truths. By discerning the insightful from the noise, we nourish growth, allowing vulnerability to sculpt us into vessels of authenticity and clarity. Envy too shadows the footsteps of the powerful, casting its gaze through the lens of unmet aspirations. It manifests as discord, a silent reverberation between souls, and asks to be met with understanding. To see envy not as a chasm but as an echo of shared human longing is to transform it into a dialogue, a poignant reminder of our interconnected desires and fears. Here, the compass of vulnerability does not merely navigate personal exposure, but charts the waters of empathy and outreach, illuminating pathways toward connection and reconciliation. Failure, that steadfast traveller entwined with ambition, steps forward to counsel those who ascend into power. Each stumble, each fall, becomes an intricate thread in the tapestry of resilience. These moments teach with raw honesty, stripping away the veneer of certainty and leaving behind the essence of learning and renewal. Through vulnerability's embrace, failure shifts from a point of descent to an elevation, reinforcing power with humility and erasing any illusions of separation, thereby inviting others into a shared journey of discovery and growth. Against the backdrop of life, sensitivity blooms as an unexpected strength. It equips us with the ability to perceive the unspoken, to bridge divides with gentle accord. True power resides not in domination, but in the empathetic embrace of the human spirit. Sensitivity becomes a quiet revolution, dismantling defences and forging alliances rooted in trust, and mutual respect. By attuning ourselves to the subtle ebbs of emotion, vulnerability emerges as the guardian of clarity and compassion, guiding our steps along the intricate landscapes of human interaction. Ascending into the realm of personal power inevitably awakens a primordial fear of exposure. It is the fierce vulnerability that lays bare our innermost truths to the tapestry of human gaze. Yet within this exposure lies the potential for authentic connection, an open door to the nuanced beauty of shared existence. By allowing ourselves to be seen in our entirety, we cultivate an inner fortress of courage, nurturing an essence resilient to the fickle winds of judgment. This unveiling transforms vulnerability into the elegant dance of honesty and strength, inviting others to step forward with equal candor. Vulnerability, finally, gathers its sacred threads into a cohesive hymn. It is the deliberate choice to wield power not as a solitary fiefdom, but as a collaborative offering. Through continuous reflection, vulnerability fuses with power, anchoring it not in dominance but in the capacity for meaningful impact. Such integration sings of a life where contradictions illuminate rather than diminish, inviting us to soften into our roles as stewards of change. In this gentle unfolding, power and vulnerability are not at odds but partners in an eternal waltz, each movement an invitation to transcend, every step a testament to the delicate art of being human. In the tender quiet of life's most profound moments, stepping into the vast expanse of our potential is akin to standing on the precipice of an untamed sea. Here the whispers of uncertainty dance like shadows on the water's surface, a reminder of the untold possibilities awaiting our embrace. Many find solace in the familiarity of routine, a shelter from life's randomness. Yet the path to truly becoming asks us to abandon this shelter, stepping into a realm where certainty dissolves. As Jung wisely put it, the greater the contrast, the greater the potential. In this space where the known meets the unknown, life's tension beckons us to grow, urging us to trust in the chaos as fertile ground for transformation. The essence of life, with its whims and undulations, teaches us that certainty is but an illusion. Seasons change, relationships weave in intricate patterns, and yesterday's permanence fades into today's ephemeral. To embrace uncertainty, one must align with life's harmonious rhythm, a dance with chaos, stepping gracefully through shifts and waves. In this chaotic dance, we discover an awareness that guides our actions, allowing us to choose from a place of wisdom rather than fear. This choice to embrace uncertainty invites us to stand boldly at the shoreline of endless possibles, welcoming the waves as both a challenge and a promise of change. Many craft their lives around the illusion of safety, believing that stability is their shield against the winds of chaos. Yet this constructed cocoon often conceals our authentic selves, limiting our capacity for growth. Recognizing this illusion and questioning whether it truly serves us marks the beginning of a purposeful journey. An evolutionary instinct to avoid danger manifests as an aversion to the risks that accompany personal transformation. Nietzsche's voice echoes through time. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. As we question the boundaries of our comfort zones and venture into discomfort, we forge a path for true transformation, allowing fear to be not a shackling force, but a gentle prodding toward potential. Existential philosophy reminds us of the leap of faith, a movement from potential to action, where latent strengths are released into vibrant life. This leap, though daunting, is not blind but rather deeply informed by self-awareness and courage. Each attempt to transcend the present into an unknown future echoes with audacity, embracing uncertainty as a backdrop for authenticity to emerge. Risking failure and embracing uncertainty let life boil down to its raw potential, where dreams begin to flourish through fearless action. Fear, a constant companion along this journey, can be transmuted from an obstacle into a spark that fuels the soul's fire. When faced with the asymmetrical shadows of the unknown, fear reminds us to tread carefully. Yet, as Viktor Frankl suggests, what is to give light must endure burning. By reframing fear as a necessary burn, we allow it to illuminate clarity and sharpen focus in our quest for fulfillment. Our relationship with fear begins to shift from adversary to ally as we understand its roots and its role in our evolving narratives. By welcoming fear without surrendering to its will, we not only mitigate its hold, but also harness its power to drive us forward. Resistance too joins us on this path, not as an enemy but as a guide. In moments of procrastination and self-doubt, resistance invites introspection. Through patient self-inquiry, we uncover insights into areas calling for growth, transforming resistance from a stagnant force into a source of motivation. This transformation is akin to alchemy, where the leaden weight of resistance becomes the gold of motivation. As we engage with resistance, it reveals its lessons, encouraging a gentler unearthing of our vulnerabilities and a disciplined dedication to inner work. The pursuit of certainty often collides with our quest for authenticity. To become our truest selves, we must relinquish the need for assurances, a journey echoed in the words of Jungian psychologist James Hollis. We internalise the dialogues of others to the detriment of conversation with our own souls. Authenticity calls for shedding societal veneers, replacing external validations with the quiet voice within. Here, we navigate life not through chaos, but with a steadfast alignment to personal truths. Dialogue with the self is the lamp that illuminates our journey, an honest, ongoing conversation that delves deep into our motives and desires. It is a sacred practice, dissecting the soul with care and mining insights that guide us toward authenticity. This dialogue aligns with Jung's individuation, where conscious and unconscious selves unite. Through self-dialogue, we come to hold each aspect of our journey with compassion, orchestrating the elements of persona, shadow, and self into a harmonious whole. Amidst this unfolding, inner chaos often surges, a tempest testing our resolve and self-awareness. Yet, in chaos lies the seed of growth, demanding acceptance and creating space for clarity to emerge. Through silence and reflective practices, we transform this chaos into gentle tides, nurturing resilience and complexity in our pursuit of self. This learned navigation fosters the skills to face the unknown with a confident heart and a wise mind. Sovereignty over our path means to claim responsibility, to sculpt our future with intention and courage. As architects of our destiny, we align decisions with authentic purpose, dismantling roles imposed by society to forge our individual path. Sovereignty emboldens us to own our narratives, offering freedom to design a life true to our desires and equipping us with resilience to endure transformations. In seeking to become whole, each experience, shadow and light, finds its place within the greater tapestry of existence. To embrace wholeness is to welcome every aspect of self, fostering an evolving state of self-acceptance. Jung's teachings on individuation underscore this journey, turning integration into a guiding star. Wholeness is not a destination, but a perpetual embrace of our nature, where authenticity and potential coalesce in an ever-unfolding dance. Here lies the freedom to be understood and cherished, as we weave a life interlaced with courage, resilience, and the promise of transformative self-realization. In the profound silence of midnight, where shadows kiss the edges of consciousness, there lies a delicate tension, a dance between the whisper of potential and the hum of fear. This dance, like a silent symphony, invites us to edge closer to the razor-thin line between our dreams and the trepidations that hold us back. But what if this tension is neither friend nor foe, but a necessary companion that urges us towards self-discovery? In the murmur of Carl Jung's teachings, we discern that the very essence of possibility is crafted from opposing forces, a delicate balance that forms the backdrop to our journey toward wholeness. Imagine, if you will, an artist poised with brush in hand, staring into the void of a blank canvas, torn between the exhilaration of creation and the trepidation that comes with the first stroke. Yet, it is in this very tension, this liminal space between what is and what can become, that courage can be found. The canvas mirrors our internal landscapes, where our fears and potential merge, intricate in their dance. Jung's insights remind us that facing this duality unlocks the door to individuation, where shadows and light coexist like day meeting night, each indispensable to the fullness of existence. Journey further, under the silver gaze of the moon, and you learn that our shadows, those hidden spectres forged from fear and unhealed pasts, reflect the light we project. Submerged deep within us, where myths intertwine with memory, are the unspoken truths we often hide. To become whole, we must engage with these shadows, accepting them not as adversaries, but as parts of our sacred tapestry. Stories from ancient woods and whispered legends teach us that duality, much like ebb and flow, is vital to the rhythmic dance of our inner humanity. Through reconciliation of shadow with light, we transcend superficial notions of self, arriving at authenticity. As we walk this path, we confront fear, that enigmatic guardian standing at the edge of every great leap. Historically, fear served a vital purpose, a call to action against primal threats. Now it often haunts our psyche, warping reality into formidable illusions. Jung beckons us to unravel fear's mystery through introspection, revealing its phantom nature. By understanding these supposed barriers, we dismantle their imagined power, discovering instead a path toward enlightenment. Through quiet moments of reflection, like leaves falling in a tranquil forest, we find courage to transform fear into a lighthouse guiding us towards clarity and growth. To unravel our layers further, we embrace vulnerability, not as frailty, but as the purest form of courage. It is within this openness that true connection and profound self-discovery lie. Jung viewed individuation as a journey requiring such exposure, a journey woven with threads of authenticity and resilience. Vulnerability becomes the shrine where bravery is continually nurtured, undeterred by judgment or failure. Thus, standing within the vulnerable truth of who we are amidst the storm builds resilience. Not through invulnerability, but by daring to reveal our genuine selves in all their complexity and grace. Each day brings us choices, invitations to step closer to our true selves. Like the quiet unfolding of a dawn, our journey is a series of choices to evolve, not as singular events, but as ongoing commitments. This is where the rhythm of life mirrors our own, echoing the cyclical nature of transformation. To honour our path, is to seize each sunrise as an opportunity for regeneration, the realization that growth is found in persistence. Here we rewrite our narratives, blending the tapestry of aspirations into lived experience, with resilience unearthing the profound courage within. In the sacred simplicity of solitude, when all the world hushes, we meditate upon courage, not as a mere action, but as a reflective inner voyage. It is in these silent dialogues with the depths of our being that we find our truest compass, sighting the vast shores of self. This path, though winding, enriches us, whispering the virtues of patience, humility, and compassion. It is within this space that the courage to embrace life unfolds endlessly, revealing new layers of mystery and understanding as we engage with our destiny. To dance with life is to accept impermanence as a constant companion, a rhythm that teaches us that everything, including ourselves, transforms. In resistance, we seek permanence, yet Jung teaches that change is woven into the fabric of life. Embracing transition, we unburden ourselves from fear, welcoming it as an opportunity for renewal, much like the seasons changing hues. Within this acceptance lies the freedom to cherish each moment, liberated from past shadows and future anxieties, creating a life rich and unencumbered. Thus, the path to wholeness demands we transcend fear, inviting growth, a sacred vow to evolve with every heartbeat. By embracing fear as a guide, we cultivate resilience through self-acceptance, for ours is a journey where every flaw and brilliance meld into a portrait of strength. Recognizing this truth, we step forward, knowing that our legacy is not of mere conquest but of authentic existence, leaving a testament of courage for those to come. As shadows give way to light, we invite you to continue this sacred exploration with us. Like and subscribe for a journey into the infinite dance of potential and becoming.